Good night. Language, force and function. Taxis, final exam. Present B. John Jefferson Urbano Delgado. Present to Angie Carolina Rojas. Abbreviation. Abbreviate verb. May a shorter, shorten. A word, a words. Abbreviation. Nouns. A short form of a word or word. An abbreviation is a short form of word and phrase. Rules. Rules number 1. When introducing an abbreviation for the first time, please it in parentheses after the spell out. Direct after the abbreviation may be used alone. Example of rule number 1. The California State University Chico CSUC graduation ceremony will be held this Saturday. CSUC will graduate 2,700 students this year. Rule number 1. Abbreviate commonly known terms. Example of rule number 2. CCTV and ATM. Rule number 3. Abbreviate courtesy titles and person titles. Abbreviate academic and professional titles only when they follow a name or when they are used with the full name or initials and the last name. Use a comma before and after an abbreviation in a sentence, except with the abbreviation her and sis. Example of rule number 3. Mr. Dr. Laura Tomás, MD, Profesor Solís, Profesor Jorge Solís, Profesor Solís Nancy Greet was present to head nurse Roger Palmer Sir led the project. Rule number 4. Abbreviations are accepted for will know business and organization. Example of rule number 4. FBI, AFL, CUO, CBS. Rule number 5. Used abbreviation visit and AT without periods to indicate days. BC always follows the year, but it may follow or precede the years. Example of rule number 5. 400 visit 400 AD 400. Row number 6. Abbreviate months and days of the week only when they are part of full day or in the chart where space is limited. Example of rule number 6. December 16, December 16, 1963, Monday. December 16 month, December 16, 1963. Rule number 7. Use abbreviation for clock time. Use capital letters and periods, capital letters and no periods or lowercase letter or periods. Use be consistent. Do not abbreviate clock time when no number is attached to the abbreviation. Example of the rule number 7. 7:30 a.m. 7:30 a.m. 7:30 a.m. Correct. The meeting is in the morning. Incorrect. The meeting is in the AM. Rule number 4. Rule number 8. Use abbreviation without periods for time zones. Examples of rule number 4. Number 8. X M M S T P D T. Rule number 9. Measurements should be spelled out, not abbreviated, except in the tables and charts. Examples of rule number 9. Correct inch, incorrect in, correct miles per horse, incorrect MP. Rule number 10. The word number may be abbreviated when is the followed by a figure, otherwise spell it out. Example of rule number 10. Num 67, 65. The number I want is 65. Rule number 11. Use abbreviation for United States names on envelopes and in the inside address of a letter. Generally, spell out the full state name in the text. Street address can either be abbreviated or spelled out in the text. When indicating direction before a street name, spell out north, south, east, and west. However, compound directions after a street name may be abbreviated. Example of rule number 11. The meeting will be held at 2020 Street, Sacramento, California. Punctuation and capitalization. Rule number 12. Use periods in most abbreviations that contain lowercase letters. Do not use periods in the most professional titles. The names of well-known businesses and organizations and acronyms. Example of rule number 20. If O B E P M C P A C CLU, CFP, CBS, EU, BM, NRA, radar, radio, detecting and ranging, NIFU, situation normal and follow up. Rule number 13. When an abbreviation comes at the end of a sentence, use it only on periodic. However, please place question marks or exclamation marks after the period in abbreviation. Example of rule number 13. I awoke at 7 7:15 am. Did you go to work at 8 am? Rule number 14. Generally, rules for capitalizing abbreviation follow the rules for capitalizing the original words. Proper nouns are capitalized in the abbreviation. Common nouns are not. Examples of the rule number 14. NAACP, COD, FAA. Rule number 15. Use an apostrophe to show when a letters of a word have been omitted in contraction. Do not use the apostrophe when abbreviation already shows omission of letters. Examples of the rule number 15 aren't, can't, not, can't, and, no, and. They are full names, types of abbreviation, and the way that we read, punctuate, and pronounce an abbreviation depends largely on its type. Shortening, continued, cont, contraction, doctor, dirt, initialities, British Broadcasting Corporation, BBC, acronym, subscriber identification module, SIM. Note that the division of abbreviation category shows above is for basic guidance. In reality, some categories may have subcategories and other categories can exist, especially in specialized language such as medical or scientific English or concerning foreign words used in English. Shortenings. A shortening is an abbreviation where the end of the full word has been cut off like this. Approx. Immediately. Approx. Occasionally, the front of the full word may be cut off. Tele. Phone. And very occasionally, the front and end of the full word are cut off. Influenza flu. Here are some more examples. Shortening full fronts. Continued. Corp, corporation. Ancients. No, November. Professor. Advertisement. Application. Zoological garden. Bicycle. Williston. Note that some shortening the last five here, for example, have entered the language as words or informal words. That is, some people may be unaware they are abbreviation of sometimes longer notes to that for such shortenings they may sometimes be a slim chance of spelling by Willis. Punctuation. How do you punctuate shortenings? Do we put a full stop period at the end for abbreviation that we use it like words? The last five above the for example we do not use it a full stop and the in for the rest. The first five in the table above for the example. This is to some extent a question of style. Some agrees and the publisher prefer the modern approach and use no full stop. Others prefer a more traditional approach and use a full stop, which indicates that the rest of the words is missing. You can use it either style, but the important thing is that to be consistent. If the full form starts with a capital letter, then the shortening must start with a capital letter. Monday, month, approximating, approx. Pronunciation. Shortening that are designated to say species in writing are usually but not always spoken like the full form, so we typically say continuate no. Read, come, corp, int, no, profit. Say continued, corporation, enclosed, November, professor. Shortenings that are designed to say than and effort in speaking are of course spoken in the short forms. Say and write. Add, add, up, sub by Willis. Shortenings. Nouns shortenings are abbreviations in which the beginning of in or in of the word has been dropped. In some cases, both the beginning and the end have been omitted. Contraction. A contraction is an abbreviation where a bit of the full word has been cut out from inside, like this: doctor. Sometimes more than one bit has been cut out from inside, limited. And sometimes bits are cut out from inside more than one words. You had, very, you very. Here are some more examples. Contraction full fronts. Dig department. F food feed. Good government. Root river. S saint. Bless Beat Boulevard. M manufacturing. Cannot. Leaks. Ligas. Cheap debit. Chihuahua hat. Punctuation. Some people put a full stop and the in. But Strictly speaking, there is no need because the last letter of the contraction is the same as the last letter of the full forms. Good reward. In contraction of more than one word, the missing letters and replicate be an appropriate command. Chief pronunciation. Some contractions are written contraction designating to save space in text. We almost always pronounce them in full, the same as the full forms. Right, depth, if, go, red, es, verdad, funge. Say department, food or feed, government, river, saint, boulevard, manufacturing. Other contractions are spoken contractions designated to say time and effort in speaking. The written version is simply making the spoken version. Say and write. Can't. Let's. Children. Contraction nouns. Contractions are a type of abbreviation in which letters from the middle of the word are omitted. Initials. An initialis is a abbreviation made from the initial first letters of group of words and pronounced and individual letters like this British Broadcasting Corporation, sometimes only the more important letters and include Member of Parliament. Here are some more examples. Initial full forms and automatic teller matching. BA Bachelor of Arts. CD Compact Disc. CEO Chief Executive Officer. DEA Do It Yourself. NASA National Security Agency. Police Public Limited Company. PTO. Please turn over. United National. BA Tax. Valued at Tax. VIP. Very important person. Punctuation. How do how do we punctuate initials? Do we put a full stop period after each letter? This is largely a matter of style. Some people prefer the modern approach and use no full stop. Others take a more traditional approach and use a full stop. Suicide and suit are both acceptable. The important thing is to be consistent. If the initial letters of the full form are capital letters, then the initials should also use capital letters. National Security Agencies NASA. If the full form does not require capital letters, then the initials can you say usually be with or without capitals is a matter of style. Please turn over. Note that some initials can also be acronyms. For example, the abbreviation for value add tax or value address is sometimes written VAT. VAT. and pronounced as letters BIT initially, sometimes written BIT, and pronounced and word rhyming with cat. Acronym pronunciation: we usually pronounce initials and individual letters, or else we say full forms. Write and say ATM, BA, CD, CEO, DE, M, SA, PLC, PTO, UM, BAT, BIP. Initials: noun, an abbreviation consisting of initial letters pronounced separately. EG, BBC. Acronyms. Acronym is an abbreviation made from the initial first letters of a group of words and pronounced as a word like this: North Atlantic Credit Organization. Sometimes only the more important first letters are included: Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries (OPEC), and sometimes the first two or third letters of a word may be used: radar detection and ranking radar. Here are some more. Acronym full form: ALS, Acquired Immune Deficiency Syndrome. Laser, Light Amplification by Simultaneous Emission of Radiation. NASA, National Aeronautics and Space Administration. PIN, Personal Identification Number. GWANGO, Quasi-Autonomous Non-Government Organization. SCUBA, Self-Contained Underwater Breathing Apparatus. SIM, Subscriber Identification Mode. TOEFL, Teaching English as a Foreign Language. UNESCO, United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization. Value attacks. Punctuation. Generally speaking, acronyms are not punctuated at all. There is no need to use full stop periods. If the acronym full form uses capital, then the acronym usually uses capital to National Aeronautics and Space Administration. Some acronyms may be written with the first letters uppercase and the rest lowercase. Acquired Immune Deficiency Syndrome. Many acronyms have developed in words in their own right and may use entirely lowercase SIM. Whether to use capital or not is often a matter of style. If a over the name of an organization, for example NASA or NAS. You can usually follow the organization preferred style found on its website. For more general acronyms, a Google dictionary will usually show the standard forms. Note that some acronyms can also be initial. For example, the abbreviation for value add tax or value added tax is sometimes written VAT and pronounced as BIT. Initialis, sometimes written by VAT and pronounced as word rhyming with cat. Acronym pronunciation. All acronyms can be pronounced as words and many of them have indeed become dictionary words in their own rights. Right and said, Ice, Laser, Nasam, Pin, Wango, Scuba, Sin, Turf, UNESCO, BIT, acronym, an abbreviation formed from initial letters of words and pronounced as a word ex asli NASA. Thank you so much. La ya quedaría guardada esa vaina.